Good morning, Zodiac, and welcome. It's a soul family read. Now I get this one in tight. Excuse me. Don't want you to be able to see the cards. And we're going to do a 4-card pull, kind of what I usually do. But just kind of general. Always with the daily soul family reads, kind of keeping track, I don't know, the thought that came, I always think of what comes to my mind first in the morning, Mercury dominant with, Virgo rising, Mercury on the IC. And it's a thought I had from before, the map is not the ground. The map is not the ground. And that came to me when I was first studying astrology, and it was like some higher part of myself saying, don't get confused. It's a map. I always call it our natal chart. It's a star map of the soul's purpose. If you're good enough, you always have free will. But definitely you're going to see the themes that we're here to deal with, and it's complex, and charts are complex and beautiful, and in the families you see the threads. I think like if in my world, in a sane world, children would study their own natal charts at an early age in a positive, neutral way. Not a lot of people are introduced to astrology by shaming. Oh, you're Sagittarius, me. Oh, you just must be an asshole, didn't know how to commit. Oh, you're a Virgo, you're all uptight and you got OCD. Oh, you're a Scorpio, or are you fucking my mother and wife at the same time? So you get these and so what's going to happen is the first thing, anything about astrology, and the first real hit you get off of it is that somehow you're an asshole. Doesn't really make you inclined to be interested in astrology. I feel so bad. It's like astrology gets such a bad rap. But always think, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. With this reading, really go anywhere. I like to look at transits are important. It's part of our lives. It's not. And also, the map is static and the ground is dynamic. It's the second part of that. The map is not the ground, and that's the important part. And that's what transit looks at. That's what progress looks at. Another thought that came to mind for you guys is if you know the date of your first meeting of any love or any relationship or even your job, first meeting charts I think are always enlightening. You really got to look at them. Compare them to your progress, compare them to your natal positions. If it's a lover, then their progress, their natal. Look at all the transits, how they're all going, and particularly you want when you're doing an event chart, you're basically taking a snapshot of the transits at that time. So this the whole world's why there's astrologers, because at that time when you met, both of you were having always some kind of significant good, bad, harmonious, inharmonious aspects to each other's planets, to your own planets, and but you throw in an event chart, sort of nail that transit energy right when you met, and really could do the same thing if you know well enough as you look at your Synastry chart together. If you know what the transits were, you're really looking at the outer planets or the biggies, and Jupiter and Saturn. Okay, guys, I'll start with the bottom of the deck today because I got 10 of Pentacles. So that's rock solid. That's really grounded, financially feeling good. I'm putting out the vibe of for trying, more and more, and that's manifestation, consciously working with my own mind to say, no, actually, we're fine. We got enough food, and we're actually blessed. We live in paradise. We got love, got health. It's not bad. It's like I'm a wreck, but getting better. And so yes, it's like this is not really about being rich. It's about feeling okay and grounded and strong, capable, and healthy too. I think 10 of Pentacles. And as an overall energy, I almost could feel it like as the intention. or the theme of what's going on here with us. But here we are, wow. So, moving to this Ten of Pentacles, overall energy, this is where we're at, this is where we're going. Right now, we got to deal with the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords doesn't have to be as bad as it looks, you know. Because it's such an ending card. And this makes all kind of sense, especially now with this Pisces moon. I could always go back to Lionsgate. You know, this is like the manifestation's already in, it's already on the way, whatever it is, right? Harmonious, inharmonious, soulmate, twin flame, job, health, it doesn't matter, but it's a lock, it's coming. I call it the astral train because it's a done deal. It just, in our timeline, hasn't reached yet, and let's say it like that. Like in 5D, you've done it, and in 3D, you're not seeing it yet because there is no time on the other side, and and it's divine timing. It's always divine timing. If you have that faith, you know, why not? You could believe everything is random or malicious, or you could believe like whatever happens, it's for the best, and leave it behind, you know. It's sort of like also having faith. That's faith in God, faith in Source, faith in Buddha, Muhammad, whatever you want to have faith in, that everything is happening for a reason, you know. And if some part of us is kind of dying off, this is our mind, I think these are just negative programs. And, you know, guys, there's a lot of them. There's a look at that, like looks like the Matrix screen. They're just raining down these swords. But it also, look, they're raining down. I'm going to be buried in the earth, and he's dead. It's over. This shit is over, man. Thank God. And it's just in time. And it's just energy coming in. I'm looking at this beautiful moon. It's still pretty full over the Colosio neighborhood. Birds, a beautiful day. It's a little bit cool. You know, you're the Caribbean, you know. It could be sweaty and hot all the time. But so it's very blessed. Yeah, it's a time when I think there's huge changes. I'm kind of not kidding. I think there's this energy. I mean, it's not just me. It's extremely high vibing energy. This crystalline white light energy from literally the, you know, whole galaxies moving into a different section of space, and it's just raining down this energy on us, and it has to do with our thoughts, which have to do with our intentions. It's been kind of difficult for me, but it really hasn't been that difficult. When I think about how difficult it has been in the years past, even in the very most recent years, it was a nightmare to me emotionally. And now it really doesn't feel like it's not that bad. And it's like I feel like I have the time and the inclination and the resources to manage my own mind. And, you know, I'm done with this stuff. So, I'm in. You know, life's too short. 3 of Cups. So this is the energy that's in our blocking. I don't really see this so much as being third-party stuff here. You know, cups are emotions, and I'm saying I think these are thought patterns. So what's blocking us in this is that emotionally, you know, we're attached to these thought patterns, and I think I can tell you how this might work. Like for me, like triggering, so abandonment issues. So your significant other does something that's not even, I don't know, you're in the store and you part and they won't answer the phone. I mean, when you have abandonment stuff, it can cause this emotional feeling attached to it. That's just an example. It's like so much of this, so many levels of this. But then that feeling, I think, you know, causes actual changes in our biochemistry and hormones, and literally we can get a rush, you know. And then what you have is a trigger setting off this reaction that we kind of get accustomed to or addicted to, you could even say, right? That rush. People maybe like that rush of challenging death or of whatever it is. But because we've known it all our life, it's something familiar to us, even though really consciously with our thoughts, if we're done, we don't want it in our body. I have PTSD, particularly around loss of a dog, and even recently, I would just think of it and go kind of like this, and it gets into our bodies, and it's hard to get out. That's a lot of, however you want to do it, inner work, Reiki, but just being aware of it, that there's an emotional aspect. And three of cups, threes are actions. I always see twos, you're choosing, threes actions. So it's nothing about third party anything here. This is about being in that little turmoil about these thoughts going away, and now the feelings are there. I think like what I do, because I was telling my friend, I think I'm really insane, but I love myself now so much. But I'll have a little talk with myself and get together and sort of discuss this, and because when I feel it, I catch it and I go, and then I realize it's going to make me feel a certain way, and I just overwrite it with what I believe is reality, because these things come from our child self creating programs. So many children are amazing, but they're not. Sometimes these are, imagine, we're creating programs before the age of reason. That's biological. You see it with Saturn, right? Transits maturation. But, you can nail the age of reason, theoretically. I haven't read the heart, things like that. God, why can't we do that? There's hormones. Do hormonal checks on children and see if their adolescence, lines up with that opposition. But, anyway, this is that deep kind of work of sort of like deprogramming these, patterns, these programs basically that we wrote to protect ourselves. Because I figured when we were kids, the only thing we had was our minds to do it. You couldn't really run away, you couldn't fight. So it was logical to create some kind of program in your mind to help deal with things. But they have to be rewritten, refined, and a lot of it to me is a feeling of talking to my inner child in a very nurturing but also authoritative way, and just telling them how it is and saying like, no, it's not that way anymore, and here's why it's not that way anymore. Just in my mind, it sounds crazy. Actually, sometimes I do it out loud if I'm alone, because it's kind of work. I mean, somehow there's all kind of methods, that you could use, but to detach those thought patterns from the emotions, and then I think you're finally done. Here's my card coming up as advice from Spirit. Powerful here, Temperance card. Wow. This comes up a lot lately. And it's that feeling, the advice from Spirit is just focus on the fact, and here comes the Ten of Pentacles. Focus on the fact of what's positive. It's that it's corny, but focus on what works, not what doesn't work. That's Temperance. Yeah. And kind of gratitude too, I see with this, is stopping to have gratitude. As we pick up on these thoughts, and I got the feeling like we're slaying them. We're slaying these negative thoughts, but let's be clear, we have a shit ton of help. It's raining down this energy, raining down and cleansing our minds. I hope to God it's killing the reptilians, and I'm not even joking. I'm tired of mincing words about it. If there's not reptilians, there damn well should be, because it would definitely explain the horrific evil that we suffer, in this world. And I just don't believe it's human. I don't think humans are this bad. I don't. I think something knows exactly how to bring out the worst of us, and that's why there's so much negativity in the world. And left to our own devices, I don't think we'd be going to war with each other. Reassurance, Ten of Pentacles. Reassurance, advice from Spirit, Temperance. We got this. We got a lot of help. We got an army of angels. We got an army of angels. We got the cavalry raining down in the way of this incredible energy. Many people saying it's we've never seen this on Earth before. I mean, if this also, if I could, you know, mince the dates, but, you know, everybody I think can feel it. The Aquarian age is starting. And the old system is just this bullshit fear and everything and control and the misogyny and the, just, you know, kind of Saturnine, you know, dominance, hierarchy bullshit. It's gonna go. And that's what you're feeling. And, you know, not gonna go without a kick, but I think it's gonna go. I think everything's gonna be all right. And why wouldn't it be all right? Because the outcome is the Empress. I mean, that's a hell of a read right there. I tell you, it's Ten of Swords. I tell you, it's nothing to worry about. This is good. I don't care if everybody says Ten of Swords is bad. It's like the last of the thoughts are clearing out. The last of these patterns, let's be clear. These childhood programs, they're literally like, imagine like a programmer. You know, if you're a programmer, you'd probably immediately, your mind start clicking, you know. Well, what do you got to do? You got to go in and find that program, and then you either got to delete it, and, you know, I call it integration. The better way is integration is, you know, rewrite that program. And now, from the point of view of having gained boundaries and wisdom and understanding of the world and understanding of yourself, having, you know, refined yourself over many years. Now, you know, wouldn't a programmer, like if you wrote a program 30, 40, 50 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, wouldn't you want to go in, kind of take a look at it and tweak it and kind of, you know, as a professional, I think, right? And I think that's kind of like what's been done. You know, I think you're basically done that, and you end up being the Empress here, you know. I don't know, can't get much better than that. That's the strongest person in the deck there, Empress and the Emperor. So my Venus returns still. It's just lifting today, but it's Venus energy too, keep in mind, with the Empress. So it's strong but capable of being vulnerable. It's very strong, but it's also nurturing and abundant and giving. You would literally then become the person that people would come to. You might be the person people come to with their problems for advice. And you, because they know you're the Empress. I mean, who else are they going to go to? Wow. So thank you guys. Let me know what you think of that one.